I shouldered the last of my boxes and gazed up at the nondescript apartment building, feeling a flicker of trepidation. After the tumultuous events of the past year, the breakup, the job loss, this was my chance to start anew. I took a deep breath and pushed open the door, the musty scent of old wood and stale air hitting me. The superintendent, Mr. Grayson, greeted me with a gruff nod. "You must be Emma. Follow me." His worn shoes scuffed against the creaky floorboards as he led me up the stairs. I trailed behind, surveying the dim, narrow hallway. This would be my home now, a chance to leave the past behind and build a future for myself. Mr. Grayson unlocked the door to my new apartment, the keys jangling in his weathered hand. "Let me know if you need anything." I stepped inside, my eyes drawn to the long window overlooking the street. This was it, my new life. My new apartment was not bad. I bought some things, cleaned up, and then looked around. I decided to celebrate my move alone with a glass of wine. "Well, welcome to new house." I took a greedy sip from my glass. I turned off the lights everywhere, leaving only one lamp on, which cast a dim light over the entire room. I tried to relax. After everything I've been through, I deserve a rest. The eyes began to close involuntarily. Suddenly, my harmony with my new home was interrupted by a strange sound. I strained my ears, certain I heard the faint sound of a woman's voice whispering in the dark. My heart raced. "Hello?" I called out, my voice trembling. "Is someone there?" Silence. Was I just imagining things? Or was there someone else in this apartment with me? I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that lingered in my new apartment. I phoned out to the building's superintendent, Mr. Grayson. "The previous tenant," he said. "That would be Sarah. Poor girl. Died almost a year ago now." My heart sank. "Died? What happened?" Mr. Grayson's voice was nervous. "Found her body in the apartment. Decomposed for weeks before anyone realized she was missing." He continued, "Don't scare. Ghosts don't exist." He forced out a strangled laugh. I felt a chill run down my spine. The news about disturbed me. Could it really be her spirit haunting this apartment? One night, as I lay in bed, I heard the creaking of floorboards. I stared into the darkness, straining to see any sign of an unseen intruder. The air grew thick with tension, and I swore I caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure at the foot of the bed. Clutching the sheets, I called out, "Sarah, is that you?" Silence. The floorboards fell still, and an icy chill swept through the room. The temperature would inexplicably drop, leaving me shivering under the covers. During the day, I'd return home to find my belongings moved or missing entirely. The bathroom mirror would fog up with the words "Get out" etched into the condensation. Worse still, I'd catch glimpses of a pale, ghostly figure in my peripheral vision, vanishing before I could get a proper look. This repeated for several more nights, and I decided that I would just ignore it. I'm just tired of everything I've been through. I convinced myself that it was just a mind game. But I became increasingly on edge, jumping at every noise. The constant sense of being watched wore me down, and I found myself glancing over my shoulder at every turn, afraid of what I might see. I was beginning to question my own sanity, wondering if Sarah's ghost was truly haunting me or if it was all in my mind. I couldn't take the constant unease anymore. I had to find some answers about the apartment's history and Sarah's demise. Mustering my courage, I approached the building's superintendent, Mr. Grayson, hoping he could shed some light on the situation. "Mr. Grayson, are you hiding something from me? What really happened to Sarah?" He shifted uncomfortably, his brow furrowed. "I didn't want to tell you the whole truth. Please, I need to know," I said. The sigh, Mr. Grayson began to repeat the disturbing details. Sarah's body was found in the apartment, decomposed beyond recognition, as I said you before. But here's what I didn't say. Sarah died of hunger. It was as if someone was holding her and not letting her leave the apartment. The police noted that Sarah's refrigerator was empty. She was not from a poor family and could have ordered delivery or bought food. However, it felt like she couldn't get out. There used to be another entrance door there. It was all scratched and covered in blood. It was as if she was trying to get out, but to no avail. Mr. Grayson's words sent a shiver down my spine. She can escape? How? It's impossible, I asked, my voice trembling. He shifted uncomfortably, his eyes downcast. There were no signs of violence, but the coroner's report suggested she had been trapped in the apartment, unable to call for help. The thought of someone suffered alone, trapped in their own home, was horrifying. I started to scare about. I was alone. Like Sarah. That's awful. Do they know what caused her, that state? Nobody knows. Mr. Grayson sighed, his face etched with sorrow. A few more days have passed. All days I thought about Sarah, and about my lonely life. And one night some terrible happened. A loud crash came from the kitchen. I ruined the kitchen, and when I see, all my dishes were on the floor. A sense of dread gripped me. Who is it? Maybe in this house as living maniac? Or... The words just flew out of my mouth. Sarah, please, I mean you no harm. I just want to understand what happened to you. I stood, transfixed, waiting for any sign of a response. But the apartment remained ominously still. I cleaned the kitchen and put all the dishes in their places. I was scared, but I was so tired from all this that I fell asleep very quickly. All my thoughts were about her. About Sarah. I jolted awake, drenched in a cold sweat. I opened my eyes. Sarah's face, contorted in a ghastly scream, hovered above me, her spectral fingers clawing at my skin. I let out a strangled cry, thrashing against the sheets, desperate to free myself from her grasp. It was a dream. I woke up at the morning. All the sheets were wet. On my hand. There was a mark on my hand from someone's fingers. The nightmares only grew worse, haunting my waking hours as well as my dreams. I couldn't escape Sarah's ghost, its malevolent presence seeping into every corner of my life. The apartment felt like a prison, trapping me in a waking nightmare. I jumped at every creak and groan, certain that Sarah's ghost lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. Sleep eluded me, and I found myself spiraling deeper into despair, consumed by the relentless torment of the apartment's unseen occupant. I realized that I was fixated on Sarah, and I decided to go outside to get some fresh air. I put on a tracksuit, put on my makeup and walked to the door, but the doorknob refused to turn, the locks jamming as if controlled by an otherworldly power. I pounded on the door, screaming for help. I was trapped in my own home. Panic seized me. Will I really suffer the same fate as Sarah? I muttered, clutching my head, this is impossible. I paced the apartment, my sanity slipping as I wrestled with the suffocating fear that gripped me. Suddenly I began to feel Sarah's constant presence. You can't be real, I muttered, clutching my head. This can't be happening. But the ghostly whispers only grew louder, taunting me. Trapped in this waking nightmare, I was losing myself, my mind fracturing under the weight of the ghost's malevolence. There was no escape, only an endless descent into madness. Help me! I screamed, my voice cracking. Somebody, please! I was clearly going crazy. My cries for help went unanswered. I collapsed to the floor, curling into a trembling ball, begging the ghost to release me from this living hell. But the apartment remained silent, save for the mocking laughter that echoed. "No, please," I cried, my voice trembling. "I can't stay here." A cold, spectral laughter echoed through the room, mocking my humiliations. But suddenly I heard a cry for help. It was heard from my bedroom. "Help me. Please, help me." I watched, frozen in terror, as a chair inched closer to me, its legs scraping against the hardwood. The sound sent shivers down my spine. Clutching my hands to my chest, I backed away, my eyes wide with disbelief. "What is happening here?" I whispered, my voice trembling. "Sarah?" I called out, my voice cracking. "Is that you?" Silence. Then, the voice again, louder this time, tinged with desperation. "Please, help me." Fleeing the bedroom, I tripped over an upturned corner of the rug, nearly tumbling to the floor. In the kitchen, a knife I'd left on the counter now hovered menacingly in the air, as if suspended by an invisible force. The knife flew towards me. I involuntarily took it in my hands. And then I saw her. "Sarah, you know what you have to do. There is no way out of here." Under mysterious circumstances, a resident of the house was found who had locked herself out and died. This is the second case in the last year. Evil tongues say that this apartment is cursed.
If you listen to the end, please subscribe to our channel, like and tell us if you liked our story.